Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. I'm like, because I haven't done a Q&A. Clearly, you guys saw the thumbnail. This is a Q&A / get ready with me video. The last one I did was last year. So I figured, you know what? I'm due for another one. So I figured let me hop on and answer some of your guys' questions. I was on my Instagram page and I just asked, ask me anything. I was literally like, ask me anything. And now I'm kind of like kicking myself because some of the questions are a little like, okay. But I figured it's juicy and we'll have some juicy response as well to come back. But, a lot of good questions, and I'm going to go over the questions with you guys while I kind of get ready. As you can see, I got some makeup on already. This morning, I wanted to film this morning, but my husband was getting ready for work at the same time, and I had to take the kids to school, so I literally just did some powder, and I really didn't do much. I literally used my finishing powder, what's it called? Not Lancome, but it's Laura Mercier finishing powder, and then I use Charlotte Tilbury like powder, just like a powder foundation. That's literally all I did with a little bit of blush, and then of course I do my my eyebrows. I've got my lash extensions, and then lipstick. I do need a touch up on my lipstick. So I was a little dressier for the earlier part of the day, and now it's like midday. I need to do this, and then I have to go pick up my kids. We've got to go do some groceries. I got to take them to Kumon. So I've got a little bit of errands to run, and I want to be a little bit more casual, cool, but of course, your girl loves to be elevated. So we're going to just put on a very casual look. I'm going to retouch my lipstick because you can see it's coming off. I had a meal and everything. So I'm going to be wearing this Tom Ford Velvet Cherry. And while I do that, I'm going to see if I can just jump right into the questions and just start answering them while I do this, and then put my clothes on and accessorize and all that fun stuff. So let's get into it. Okay, so I have everything on my phone. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm reading the questions. The first question I'm going to go over: when did you start your channel, and do you do your own edits? Do you have a manager? So that's a lot of questions in one. Okay, if I'm going to be really honest, I started my YouTube channel, I think it's 12 years ago, at least 10, or I think I started no, I take that back. I did start my YouTube channel when I started my blog. So I've had a YouTube channel for over 10 years now. However, I only committed to being consistent on YouTube mid-2020, so during the pandemic. Let's just put this on real quick. I can't put lipstick on and talk. I don't know how the girls do it, but I just can't do it. Okay, let's do this first. One moment, please. Okay, I love this color. I will link it for you guys. I actually did a TikTok video about like the 3 lipstick colors that you absolutely need, and this was one of them. And like I said, of course I will link it for you guys. But yes, that question, what was the first question again? When did you start? So I started 2012, the year my daughter was born, the year I started my blog. But I started being consistent mid 2020, so around April, May in 2020. When I started, I had like 400 subscribers. Now we have about like 41,600, something in that ballpark. And I'm very grateful for those numbers, because I saw some other videos about people telling me about, it took them years to get there. I was talking to Monroe, and she was also like, I should be proud, because in my head I'm thinking that I should have more, and she's like, no, you've done good. So for me, I rarely stop to like give myself flowers and just smell the roses and just kind of pat myself on the back. I'm just always like, I want to do better. And I think because I've established myself on Instagram, I just instantly thought that, yeah, YouTube would be, a breeze, but it's not, it's not. And it's more of a challenge for me to come up with creative ideas, to do things new and different, and just to rediscover myself as a creator. You guys have been very gracious. You guys have been amazing to me, I have to say, because I've heard horror stories about YouTube and the YouTube audience, and they're mean, and you guys are just literally, like, I could cry. Like, you guys have been so good and so gracious and so kind. And I don't know if it's the energy that I put out that you guys are giving me back, but I rarely get negative comments, like rarely. And when I do, I don't even have to say anything because you guys go for them. Like, you guys literally have my back. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've always been very humble. I've always been very grateful. But to see that, and I've never seen people like stand for me the way you guys stand for me here. So yeah, just being on this platform has definitely humbled me. It's like a blessing, and it's almost like a new beginning because, you know, I've been on Instagram since even before I started my blog. So I think I was on Instagram the year it started, basically. And Instagram was just very different. It was just more of a photo album. So I would just post pretty pictures and be like, okay, there you go. You get another pretty picture. That's it. So rediscovering myself, learning my audience, reading your guys' comments. You guys tell me about yourself. I've been very vulnerable. I was never that way on Instagram. If anything, I've done interviews and I've done many things where people are like, we don't know who you are. So it's nice to kind of just open up a little bit here. Okay, and they I answered that part. When did you start your channel? What do you do? Do you do your own editing? So I'm that person that I strongly believe, if you are going to be in this business, and this doesn't necessarily have to apply to everybody. I don't know if everybody does this, but I strongly believe that you need to know how to do every step of this industry, and it is a lot. And there's some questions that kind of ask about like, what do you do and all of that stuff, and I'll go into that. But yes, I do. Let's put it this way. I used to do my own editing in terms of YouTube videos. I can edit a video from beginning to end. I can do everything. I edit my photos. I can take my own imagery. I have equipment to last me a lifetime. I could literally start my own photography studio in terms of the equipment because I have invested in me. I saw this as a business early on, and I invested in it. And I'm forever learning. I'm forever improving. I'm trying new things. I'm in front of photographers or editors. I'm asking questions. So I don't do it anymore. I hired a team to help me with my YouTube videos, and only because I was doing like 3 videos a week. I don't know who sent me. And I was still running my website, and I was running my Instagram page, and I was just piling on the work, and I literally had like a bit of a nervous breakdown. And then one of my followers on Instagram was like, my husband, owns a videography, whatever company. And I was just like, are you kidding me? And then she sent me his work, and I was just like, will I be able to afford this? And, I got on the phone with him. It's a Black-owned company, and, he worked out a really good deal for me. And I've been able to work with them for, I think about 2 years now. So it's been a blessing. It has been a blessing just having that and being able to communicate exactly what I want, because every now and then you'll have some of the editors that work under him or work for his company will be like, well, has an editor. And I'm like, well, I'm an editor, so I know what I'm talking about too. Anywho, yes, we're loving the wig. We're loving the wig. So yes, and then the last question, she just piled all the questions on, and I love it. Do you have a manager? Yes, I have a manager. In the beginning, I did it all myself, but I just got to a point where I knew I couldn't handle everything. So I have an agency that I'm with. I've been with them for a couple of years now, actually for a long time before the pandemic, before all of that. I've been with this agency for quite a long time. And, they basically just handle my my contracts. They handle negotiating collaborations and whatnot. I have to say, I think this is because I started before this influx of everybody wants to be an influencer or a content creator. And I have great work ethic, which is extremely important in any space you work in. But I started at a time where my work just spoke for itself. I have so much content out there, so much content on the internet. So I never really have pitched, or I know how to pitch, but have I been pitching for the last 10 years? No, not necessarily. I'm just very fortunate that the work comes to my inbox and I'm able to work with brands, a lot of people that I've worked with in the past, a lot of brands I continue to work with. So in that sense, I am very blessed. Okay, the next question, how does one become an influencer representative for a brand? So I'm going to keep on getting ready while I talk. One moment, please. So like I said, we're doing a casual cool look. So I'm doing these, my Margiela jeans, my trusty jeans. I'm going to be wearing those today. But how does one become an influencer with brands? You know what? One of my dear friends, Terrance Hemshay, shout out to Shanae if she's watching. She actually owns an agency, Kensington Gray. We've been friends for like, I don't know how long, over 20 years. But back then, she was actually the first person that I knew that was a blogger or was in this industry or did anything to do with all of this stuff. But at the time, she was working for another company, a media company in Canada, and she was on the other side of it. So she gave me the really, really good advice, like when I started like monetizing and whatnot. And she's just like, tag everybody. Tag. And I remember back then, the girls were snobby in this space. It was like only one black girl, kind of, it was just really bad. It was just very toxic in the beginning of content creation and people working with brands. And I remember I was at a Spanx dinner and I was just like, yeah, you know, we're supposed to be tagging. And one of these girls looked at me and she's like, tagging is tacky. And I'm just like, okay. You know, I literally felt like, but luckily I did not let that affect me and I did not listen to her. I listened to my girl Shanae and I tag. And I got in front of so many brands. I got reposted by Fendi. I got reposted by Michelle. Like a lot of brands that I was just looking up to. And I got, back then, before the algorithm, a repost meant you were getting thousands of new followers. Like, so I would get reposted and I would just get in front of brands. I remember Michelle Watch, they reached out, they're like, yeah, you know, we see that you're wearing one of our Deco watches. It's time for you to update it. Here's a brand new watch, no strings attached. And that led, and literally the first one was no strings attached. And then after that, it was sponsorship after sponsorship. I've given away so many Michelle watches. I've been a great partner with them. So, you know, the tagging is the only way brands you can really see you. I know now it's kind of saturated, but I think the best way to partner with brands and to let brands know that you want to work with them is to get their attention, follow them, comment, tag them. You know, even though there's so many people tagging, you never know, you might be the one to stand out in the crowd, and just make good relationships with brands. If you know you want to work with the brand, start posting content that kind of speaks to the brand, and make sure the content you put out also speaks to the brand. Next question. Okay, so the next question is, what was your job before being a social media influencer? That's a good question. So my job before being a social media influencer, I'm going to start putting my jewelry on, was luxury retail. I worked luxury retail for almost 20 years. I started in Toronto working for a brand called Danier Leather, which I worked for them for many years. And then I worked for Holt Renfrew, which is kind of Canada's like Saks and whatnot. Worked for them for many, many years. I moved, I left, and I went back to Toronto. They took me in with open arms because I'm that person that I really kind of love people, and I love seeing people dressed up. So it was always a pleasure to dress up my clients and to help them, you know, make wise decisions in terms of shopping. So I worked for Holt Renfrew for many years, and then when I moved to the States, I worked for Nordstrom, but their collector's department, so that's like their Oscar de la Renta and all their high-end stuff. And then from there, I worked for Reed Krakoff. Yeah, so I left Nordstrom to open the first Reed Krakoff. Oh, sorry, my phone's going off. I'm sorry. I left Nordstrom to open the first Reed Krakoff boutique in Atlanta. And it was a great store, great concept in terms of the creativity. I loved it. However, the brand ended up having to pack itself up because reasons beyond I can share. But and then I also worked for Miu Miu. So I worked for the Prada group for a couple of years, and that's when I decided that because let me just tell you, I had a new baby, so I started my blog and my whole blogging, content creation thingy career while I was on maternity leave with my daughter. So I had a new baby. I went back to work. I still had a full-time job, and I was kind of blogging, content creating full-time. So I was doing everything at the same time. So everybody was on lunch break and having fun. I was in the break room creating blog posts and just, working on my brand. It was, I'd say every disappointment happens for a reason, because I decided to quit my job because I got a pay deduction, less hours or whatnot. So just a whole bunch of stuff that was happening. And I was just like, you know what, I'm making decent money. And back then, a lot of us didn't know our worth back then. Like, literally, there was very little competition, so a lot of us didn't know our worth, and nobody was sharing rates. So it was really just having that kind of disappointing moment at work that just pushed me to be like, you know what, if I can just make enough money to cover my side of the bills, then I'll be okay. And I had the conversation with my husband too, and he's just like, you know what, I got you if you need help, whatever. And let me tell you, stepping out in faith will reward you every time, because after that, I never looked back. Like, literally making what I was making for a year in half a month. And it's just been a blessing ever since. Okay, so your best advice for anyone starting. I want to definitely mix it up and not just do the content creation questions. If you have time, can you do a perfume haul? Oh, let me put more clothes on before I do the perfume haul. So let's get back to that one. By the way, I love your look. Someone asked, how am I? I'm good, thank you. I have my ups and downs like everyone else. This job, as luxurious and glamorous as it is, it's very stressful, especially for someone like me that I kind of strive for my ideal of perfection. So I tend to put a lot of weight on myself mentally and all of that stuff. But that's why I took a break. I took like 4 weeks off. Well, technically 3 weeks off. 4 weeks. The last week was for planning, but I just had to take a social media break. Let's see. How to build up a luxury purse collection. Save for 1 year. Vary 2 years. That's the question. I hope you guys understand. I guess the question is, how would one build up their luxury bag collection? That's an interesting question, because it varies, right? Like, for me, when my job now allows me to, buy these pieces, review them, share them with you guys. And the crazy thing is, I am a minimalist at heart. I don't clutter. A lot of things drives me insane. So what I try to do is I try to constantly, like, get rid of stuff. But before I, was purchasing, and that's why I think that's another reason why I've been trying to encourage you guys to, like, shop your closet a little bit more, because sometimes I just feel having too much. Gone were the days where it was a thing to be like, I have 100 pairs of shoes, or I have 100 bags. Who cares? In my head, having too much just causes confusion, and it makes my getting ready process a little harder. But before I was doing all of this, I was getting a luxury bag, or I was purchasing a luxury bag, I would say probably one every quarter. So, or no, I would say, I think I was doing like two a year, like 2 luxury bags a year or whatnot. And don't forget, guys, I've been in luxury for so long that it's very funny, because it's almost like I became immune to everything. I had to tell myself I didn't need a lot of it, or else I would have been like dirt broke, because you're in front of it all the time, and I get excited. If you've ever, for those that have seen me or knew me when I was, in retail, I would get so excited with new product. I would just get so excited when I would see things and just want everything. So I literally had to train myself to kind of like be like, no, you don't need that, or no, and just limit the amount of bags that I would purchase. I keep on reaching in because I have to, like, the phone is like dying or sleeping. So I would just limit the amount, and it really depends on your wallet too. I thought, at least for me at the time, I thought 2, max 3 bags a year, luxury bags, was more than enough. More than enough. My income has increased. I have a job that actually requires me, not requires per se, but pretty much to an extent, to do bag reviews, to do fashion hauls, to do all this stuff. So my intake is a little different, but like I said, it really depends on your wallet. I always say, don't be like, Monica bought this new bag, I need to buy that bag too. No, this is my job. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Let's get you guys another question. 1 second. I want to get another question that's not fashion related, and then I'm going to put my sweater on real quick so I don't have to wear this robe because it's kind of hot. So let's see. I have 2 lines of different questions, so we've got quite a few questions. Oh, someone asked, no, that's another influencer question. I want to do a oh, this is an interesting one. Let me put my sweater on and get back to this one. This is a good one. Okay. The sweater messed up my hair a little bit. So, as I comb my hair, what's the next question? Talk about sex. People don't. What's it really like for a healthy married couple? That's kind of versatile, but I guess I will answer that with how comfortable I am to answer a question like that. And I guess this is my bad. I said no questions off limits, so that was the question I got. As a married couple with kids, sex is not an everyday thing for us, but yeah, we have good sex. Just not every day. I see people that are like, yeah, we have sex every day. And I'm like, how do you have the energy? Y'all have sex every day? I don't know. Anywho, we don't have sex every day, but you know, we try to maintain a healthy sex relationship. Let me just put it that way. I hope that's enough. I don't think it's a matter of people don't talk about it. I think it's just, it's private. Like, I might not mind talking about it, but my husband might have an issue with that, So I think also another thing for a healthy married couple, you have to respect your partner. But yeah, we have a very healthy sex life. We try. We go into our moments where we're just exhausted and life happens, but every day a week, that's just not a reality for us. Okay, next question. What are your plans for after YouTube, considering all good things usually come to an end? That's an let me put it this way. When I started this whole blogging thing over 10 years ago, I remember like friends that meant well. I did a little bit of a half tuck with the jeans. Oh, let me step back, sorry. That's where we are so far. But yes, when I started a long time ago, friends who meant well, family, everybody would come to me and say, what are you going to do after this? Like, this is not going to last forever. Like, what are you going to do? What are your plans? What's your goal after this? And they would keep on, saying that. And honestly, I won't lie, for there were moments where I was just like, am I doing the right thing? Like, everybody keeps on asking me, like, But at the same time, I think something in the back of my head was like, especially when I started monetizing and actually seeing numbers. And I was just like, I worked retail for so long and I made a lot of brands a lot of money. And here I am picking and choosing and seeing the numbers. And I'm like, the numbers don't lie. And I'm like, as all these people are telling me this is not going to last, I'm like, that's what you think. That's what you think, because the influencer content creator industry is over $1 billion industry, guys. Think about it this way. It eliminates this whole, like, people down your throats. Like, we're shopping, even for me, like, I'm shopping with you guys. You guys give me tips and you tell me where to go. So it's like a community. It's like shopping from friends. So to be honest, the amount of traffic that influencers or content creators push towards brands is astronomical. So it's not going anywhere. Like, it really isn't. There are people on YouTube that have been on YouTube for well over 15 years or whenever YouTube started and have been monetizing since. And YouTube is not the only thing I do as well, but I don't really see this good thing coming to an end. Yes, it might evolve. It constantly evolves. It might change into something else. But the key is to almost be a chameleon. Are you able to maneuver and shift and change with the tides? And that's what I've done. The influencer blogging industry is very different from what it used to be 10 years ago to what it is now. But the only way to stay relevant and to stay in the game is to kind of just learn and evolve with the industry. It's still a very new industry, and hopefully it will just continue to evolve. We will get better. And I tend to stick around regardless of what shape or fashion, but I have no plans of going anywhere, basically. Someone asked, how much do influencers like you average in income? It depends. Some influencers are making millions, some $500,000. I would say influencer like me, I guess, is probably making at least $500,000. in this space, at least. And it depends. Everybody varies. It depends on your collaborations, your relationships. How are you monetizing in other spaces? Like there's so many forms of income, and this is just a stepping stone for other things. So, yeah, it varies. But I hope that gives you a good idea. And that it varies. It really varies across the board. So yeah. Hi Monty, I love you and your content is fire. Will you do a meet and greet? I would hope so. I won't lie, I get a little anxious when it comes to meet and greets. I always feel like, oh my God, say if no one comes and blah, blah, blah. So I always get a little anxious when it comes to meet and greets. I did, have I done it? I don't remember the last time I did one. I think I've done maybe one or two in the past, but I don't know if I'm going to be doing any anytime soon, to be honest. But who knows, it's a new year, so maybe I might. So just stay tuned for that. Asking for a friend. Next question, how did you lose weight? I don't know why I didn't lose, I think I mentioned I lost weight, but I didn't do anything drastic. I have clothes in my closet that are over 20 years that I can still fit into them. I'm older now, I'm in my 40s, so I don't necessarily shed weight the way or I used to, but I've always worked out my entire adult life since I was in school. I did kickboxing, I literally have belts. I did Pilates, I continue to do core workouts on a regular basis. During the pandemic, yes, I probably gained a little bit from, eating and baking. I was baking. I never baked, but I was baking. And I was drinking a lot of wine, which I'm not even a big drinker, but, me and Bo just found ourselves drinking wine a lot. So I definitely gained a little bit of weight. I have not done anything drastic. I've always kind of been a size 26, 27. I think I'm teetering more to the 27 now. I was just saying in one of my videos, my bust got bigger. Like I went up a cup size, but I'm still fitting into my jeans and everything else. So yeah, I've never done anything drastic. The most I do is work out. I believe in results, so I work out hard. I do. Before I hit my 40s, I probably would do 15 to 20 minutes. Now I'm working out a little longer. I try to do at least 5 days a week, 20 to 30 minutes, and I do the bike about 3 times a week, and I do core workouts. So my focus is really my core. My arms are pretty ripped from years of kickboxing and just P90X and all that stuff, the old school stuff. I still do it because it delivers results. I also started doing yoga, which has allowed me to be a little bit more leaner, and which I love. Actually, I've been doing yoga for 10 years now, over 10 years, but it feels like but no, it's not a just. So yeah, yoga, Pilates, kickboxing earlier on, and then on my bike. Okay, what else do we have here? Let me get my jewelry real quick. I put my rings on already. Oh, I forgot a fragrance. I'm going to use this Dior perfume. They gave it to me for my birthday, Amber Nuit, and I love this scent. This is probably one of my favorite scents. I'm not the biggest perfume person, and I know somebody asked for a perfume haul. I think that should be like another video, right? But this is definitely one of my favorite scents. I have the Lancôme. I have to say, all my fragrances have been gifted to me by brands or friends. I've never really been one to go out and buy perfume. Sometimes they tend to give me headaches, but I've discovered that a lot of the ones that I have are really good and they don't give me headaches, especially this one. I really love this one. Let me show you guys the Lancôme one. I got this one from a collaboration. I can't remember the name of it right now. But I really like it. I really, really like it. I actually did a giveaway. I gave this to you guys. I gave a set away during the holidays. So if you're not following my website, allaboutmonica.com, you need to follow because we do good giveaways. Brands send a lot of good stuff. And like I said, I don't like to hoard things. So I tend to try and give stuff away as much as possible. And the January giveaway is a beautiful shearling bag. So check your newsletter if you haven't so you can enter to win. Okay, so on Instagram, I posted something funny about Prada. I was eyeing this beautiful leather Prada jacket. And I was like, okay, it's Fashion Week is coming. Let me justify it. I always give myself a budget in terms of clothing and what I would wear. So I put it out there that, oh my God, I saw this image of during Prada Men's Fashion Week, I think it was Milan. and this leather jacket. I'm like, oh, I love it. So I went to the website to go check out the jacket, and it was $12,300. I was just like, $12,300. I'm like, oh, hell no. I can justify a lot. And I've justified a lot in my lifetime and in my career and all of that, but I'm like, when did leather jackets become that much? So this question kind of speaks to that, because I was just like, I did a whole spiel on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's Odd by Monty. Follow me. It's pretty good. We're having so much fun, especially in the stories. So I was just laughing about how it's a luxury as well as eggs, because we all know the price of eggs right now. So this question is, speaking of which, which are your price limits? I'm assuming she meant to write, what are your price limits for fashion? Will you spend any price, and on what? I definitely have limits on items. Coming from someone who's been in this industry for so long and seeing the evolution of price tags, I'm very iffy about prices. There are certain things that I will not, and I refuse, because I know that, number one, the quality is not as good. Number two, I don't need it. Number three, I can buy something that's comparable at a mid-range, and it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm that person that I strongly believe this, and I don't say this out of being cocky or anything, but you can give me anything and I can make it work, period. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know this to be true. It does not matter what you give me. I will make it work if it's fashion, because it is truly just something that I'm passionate about. So I really put limits on what I buy. I try not to buy any bags or anything that's over $5,000 in terms of a luxury bag. Those are probably my most expensive pieces. I have gone a little bit more than that in some cases. And then obviously with Hermes, yes, I know that I'm definitely going to spend a little bit more. But at the same time, I see those bags as an amazing investment, because if I decide I don't want it, I can easily turn around and sell it, or, and make every penny back and some. It's so funny, because the first time I put a request for a Birkin, they were $5,000 from the store. And now, they're 10 at least. So, but anywho, yeah, I don't know what the most is. I really, for me to go above that 5,000 threshold that I've given myself, it has to be some different kind of love. Maybe a fur coat, but even I know for a fact that I can get an amazing, well-made fur coat for less than $5,000. The only way I'm paying more than that is if it is a designer name attached to it. And that doesn't mean anything to me, because I know how these things are made. I've gone through so many product knowledges, so I know these things, how they're made, and I know that unless it's just something that I absolutely love, I don't have to do that. And I have nothing to prove in terms of name brands. It's just a matter of if I love something or not. So I think 5,000 is kind of my threshold for just everything else, bags, including Chanel, bags, clothes, whatever. But for a Birkin or a Kelly, I don't think I would pay more than 11,000. Let's just put it this way. I would never buy it resale, because I'm not paying more than what I would pay for in a store. It's just, there's nothing that pushes me enough to want anything. I have so much already, and I'm so grateful for what I have, that I never feel the need that I have to have this, oh my God, like I have to have it, I'll pay extra. That's just not me. It's never been me. It never will be me. Okay, so next question. Let me put some jewelry on. Sorry, guys, one moment. So I already have my watch on. I'm not doing a lot of arm candy, but I'm going to definitely put this choker on. I love this choker so much. If y'all need a good choker, this is the one. It's just everything. And it's the two-tone one. The silver is in the back. I love the golden front. I just need shoes, and I'm going to try and answer another question while I go for my shoes. What's your favorite food to make for your family? That's a good question. Let me get my shoes real quick. We will be wearing these Jordans today. I love these. So my favorite food to make for my family will be jollof rice. If you don't know about jollof rice, hey, you need to go to a Nigerian restaurant and find out, because jollof rice is thebomb.com. Especially my jollof rice. It's pretty good. I'm a lazy cook, but I like to cook. I just don't like anything that's going to take more than 30 minutes. So a friend showed me a really cool way to make jollof rice where you're simultaneously making the stew and everything with diced tomatoes and your seasoning, but also boiling the rice at the same time. I tend to use jasmine rice now, and then just mix the two. Pretty much the rice is like almost ready. The sauce is ready. You mix the two, put it in the oven. But I tell you, it comes out so good, so good. So my son loves jollof rice. My daughter doesn't even like rice, but she'll eat my jollof rice. So I know I do a good job at jollof rice, but don't tell anybody, don't tell my family, because then they'll think that when we have family gatherings, I should cook. I don't like cooking for I don't like cooking for a lot of people. When people come to my house, I tell them, mi casa su casa, kick your feet up, feel free to cook, or we can order. Luckily, my husband loves to cook, and he kills it with the Nigerian dishes. So when people come over, he's always so kind to make the pounded yam, which you guys could probably call fufu if you're not Nigerian, with different types of stew. Is it super stew? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, that's what I like to cook for my family. Someone said, I love your headscarf. Tutorial, please. Yeah, I can do that. Literally, I used to collect silk designer scarves. I still love them to this day. I haven't bought a lot lately, but I started collecting Hermes scarves. But I've got beautiful Oscar de la Renta, Etro, Alexander McQueen, Diane von Furstenberg. And I just started, now that I'm in my wig phase, which we're loving this wig. It's from the Virgin Hair Fantasies. I will link her because, she's killing with the wigs. But I on the days where I don't feel like wearing the wig or I don't want to be bothered, I've been tying the scarves a lot lately. Old Missoni scarf. Oh God, I've got the most beautiful Missoni scarves, and I've been tying them, and it's just so simple. Let me see if I can find a scarf real quick to show you guys. Okay, so this is a Dior scarf. I'm only doing this for you guys. I'm gonna comb my hair right back out because it's not part of the outfit. But I just, I did a diamond. Normally, I've been using a lot of my scarves that are rectangular. So I have square scarves, I have diamond scarves. But I just put it on like that. And then I kind of like twist the ends. And then tie it to the front. I literally tie it as if, what's it called? And then you have these two ends, and I just tuck them in. Literally, nice and simple. Oh, it actually looks good. Maybe I should keep it on. And then this part that's hanging, I just tuck it in. I don't do anything like too outrageous. I try to keep my style and my fashion simple and efficient because I just never seem to have enough time during the day. So I just try to keep everything I do very simple. It might look complicated, but I think because I've been doing a lot of this for so long and I love dressing up, I've just come up with ways to make everything easy. Even my makeup. Like I see girls I'm putting my shoes on, so if you guys see me going down. Sorry. I was saying I see girls putting makeup on and for hours, and I'm just like, how do you have time? And I know everyone's different. It's priorities. I think my life is just so go between the kids, work, and all of that. I'm always just trying to like save time, and I'm learning how to, breathe and just give myself a little bit more time and a little bit more grace. So I'm getting there slowly but surely. Is Botox worth it? Honestly, I have no idea. I've never done Botox ever. I've never really done anything. Though there was one time I did this, I think it's called youth therapy. I did a partnership with this brand, and one of my problem areas has always been under my chin. So I did a partnership with a brand, and they sticked needles. It was supposed to stimulate the muscles to kind of tighten so I wouldn't have the hanging skin. It was the most painful. It was so painful. They gave me laughing gas to kind of help with the pain because I was awake during it. And I was just like, I'm not doing it again. But last year I partnered with another brand, and this is how I discovered things because I am kind of a creature of habit. But, I've been so fortunate with partnerships to actually explore and try new things. And my skin has just been its best. Like, I'm shocked. Like, this past holiday, the amount of people stopping me and were like, oh my God, your skin. And I was just like, who are they talking to? I don't know if they thought that I was just being kids. I literally was just like, are they talking to me? But my skin has been its best. And I will try to share more of my skin routine, as we, throughout the year, and just kind of give you guys pointers and stuff. I work with a company called SBLA, and I think I shared this with you guys, and I have to say, there's a difference. Like, I'm so happy with this. So I haven't done any Botox. I'm not saying I won't or I will never do any of that. I just haven't done anything yet. I'm gonna be 44 this year. Skin is glowing. We love it. But I don't think I need Botox. I don't have frowns on my forehead. I don't really have the crow's feet thingy, and I smile so much that I do have smile lines, but I had them in my 20s, so I think I'll always have them. But yeah, I've never done Botox, so unfortunately I can't answer that question. Someone said, how do you become an influencer? I think the only way to say how you become an influencer is taking something you absolutely love, that you are passionate about, and just sharing it with the world, sharing your passion with the world. I am that girl. I love fashion. Like, when you hear people say fashion is my passion, that is I've always loved fashion. I've always been passionate about it. I can literally draw sketches. I'm also an artist, so I would make, when I was like 10 or 9, I would make my own sketches of clothing. My mom used to just sew from patterns, and I would start making my own patterns because it's just drawing the patterns, and then I would figure out how to make clothes, and I would just randomly whip up stuff and just make things all the time. And then from that, I studied sociology and mass communication, but my first, other than, you have those summer jobs working at an amusement park, but my first real job was working luxury fashion, and I've always just stuck to it. And I always just say, my parents would be like, you're not using your education for anything, but my goal before all of this was to teach fashion at a higher education level, or to teach the business of fashion. That was what I wanted to do with my sociology degree and my mass communication degree. I double majored. But now I get to teach it in a different way, where it's fun, there's no pressure, I do it on my own time. I think that's why I've been able to do so well in this space, because I am a cheerleader to my peers. I love what I do. It's almost weird. Like, I think it's weird. I love seeing women look good. Like, nothing gives me joy than being in a room full of women that just are killing it. I think it's weird. I don't know. Let me know if you guys think it's weird, but it truly is a joy for me. And that's why I tell everybody, because this job is so darn hard, I literally get in my office at about 7:30 in the morning and leave about 7:30 at night. Take, working lunch breaks every now and then. I'll stop to say hi to my kids. But it's a lot of work. If you want to make this a successful business, and you need to be consistent, you just have to love it. Because if you don't love what you're talking about or what you're sharing with the world, I promise you, you will end. Like, it will, not that you will end, that sounds really morbid, but you won't follow through. You'll fall off. It's because it's a lot. It's not as easy as we make it. Let's put it that way. All right, so I think I got all the questions there. The ones that are left are kind of, I feel like I answered them already. So I'm gonna stop here in terms of the questions. I hope I answered your guys' questions. If there are any more questions, just leave them in the comment section and I'll try and get to them. But before I let you guys go, I'm gonna finish my outfit, and then I'm gonna share the outfit with you guys, and then I'm gonna head out. So we got the green shoes on, we got the Nikes. We're gonna do these Valentinos that I picked up over the holidays. I love them. And then, because we're just running errands, I'm gonna just do my little Bottega cassette bag, and where it has a crossbody. I love this little pop of color. I know it's winter, but it's almost 70 degrees outside in Atlanta, so I'm not wearing a coat. Plus, I'm gonna be in my car, and the cool thing about a Tesla, you can actually, like if I know that I'm leaving somewhere, I can just program the car to like heat up, and by the time I go outside, it's heated. So yeah, and I really don't go anywhere that I have to walk or do all of that stuff. So, but yeah, I'm gonna step back, share the final look, and we're gonna end this video. I hope you guys could see that. Anywho, thank you for joining me for this Q&A. I hope I answered questions you might have had about me to the best of my ability. Let me know if you guys want me to do this more often, or if you have any other questions. I feel like This Q&A was definitely very different from the last one, so this was really nice to just do this with you guys. But yeah, if I missed anything, if there's anything you guys want to know that's not too invasive, please. I really shouldn't have asked me anything, but yes, if there's anything, just let me know. I'll try and answer it to the best of my abilities. As always, thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you for getting ready with me. Do we love this outfit? It's fun, right? Oh, I forgot to say where the sweater's from. The sweater is from White House Black Market. That's another brand that I've worked with for many, many, many years, and I continue to work with them. Like I said, put in the work. Anything you do, it doesn't mean you don't have to be an influencer or a content creator, but whatever you do it well. I know there's a quote in the Bible that says that, and you don't have to be a Christian to kind of follow that. I think just in life, what you put out there, the universe will always give it back to you. So I try to do 100% with everything I do, and that's why I've been able to work with so many amazing brands over and over again. Saks, American Express, White House Black Market, Farfetch, the Lagos, Michelle. The blessings will continue to come. So put positive juju out there and it will come back to you. Thank you so much for watching my video, guys. This was fun. This was really a pleasure. I love sharing with you guys. Like I said, if there's anything I missed, just let me know. Hit me up. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, so next time you guys can ask me the questions too, especially if your question wasn't answered, or if your question wasn't brought up, or whatever you were thinking wasn't brought up. Just follow me on Instagram, so the next time I do it, you can ask the questions. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok as well. It's Odd by Moni on all platforms. Make sure you check out my website, oddbymonica.com. This is year 11. We are having fun. We're just celebrating fashion, celebrating beauty, celebrating Black girl magic. So follow me on all platforms, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.